Hi everyone and welcome to another Virtual Student Experiences Season 2 webinar. Today's webinar will focus on architecture. If you're new to our program, VSC is a pro bono initiative spearheaded for students by students. We at VSC want to be the inspiration for aspiration. Our goal is to give students around the world an opportunity to hear from professionals in their career industry of interest in a friendly and casual setting. If you're a student that knows what you want to do in the future, we at VSC want to encourage, allow, and connect you with professionals. Through VSC, students are given the chance to decide if their career of choice really fits their skills, personality, and overall interest. Through VSC, you'll be able to hear from a wide variety of guests from a variety of seniority levels. To find out more information and to be notified of upcoming webinars, you can visit our website at virtualstudentexperiences.com. And before we get started, I just want to let you all know how this is going to work, so hang on tight. Firstly, I'm going to be asking our guest professional that I'll introduce in a second a series of base knowledge questions so that you can get a good idea of who she is and really what she does. If at any time you have a question, feel free to post it in the Q&A module down below and we will get to it in the later part of the webinar. We highly recommend that you ask questions during this webinar because it is an opportunity to get an answer right here, right now, instead of reading about it later on the internet. And quickly introducing our VSC core team of volunteers, we have Buddy, Gabby, Jonathan, Coco, and Tommy. And without further ado, our guest today is Ms. Sobti. Ms. Sobti started off her career as a project architect and is now a partner for I Achieve Group, Inc., which is a company that aims to help entrepreneurs start their own independent business. She began her education in architecture at APJ School of Architecture and earned her bachelor's degree there. She also received a certificate for solar design from Green Buildings from the Institute for Human Settlements. After her education, she began to work as a project architect, a design architect, and a design partner in India, which led her to her current position as a partner for the I Achieve Group, Inc. in North America. Her strong character and her desire to get out of her comfort zone and grow has made her a successful woman and a great asset to any company she works for. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Becket, for the wonderful introduction. Good evening, everyone. This is Deepika connecting from New Jersey. As rightly mentioned by Becket, that yes, I'm an architect. I have done my undergrad from India, from one of a very renowned school, which is APJ School of Architecture. It was a 5 years undergrad program, and then straight away after that, I was in the industry. Pursuing my architectural goals over there, and soon I realized, as a student, you had this big aspirations and ambitions to be really do well for yourself, right? I think I wasn't different in that. I'm born as a very ambitious woman, and hard work and long hours, passion was never a question for me, and. I'm not sure how many of you are aware of this industry, but this industry really is demanding for every individual, right? And I don't think so I was prepared for that. So that is something very crucial. I would like to address that today, that whatever you are trying to pursue in your life, some of the mistakes I did, and I would like you to, put some light on that, so that when you are pursuing any career, you have that kind of understanding. Because see, there are two ways to have that understanding. Either you have somebody in your family who have done that before, or you network with those people in that industry so that you understand what they do on their daily basis in their career, not in the educational area, but after they are done with their education, what kind of opportunities they are provided with, and what kind of struggles they have, or what kind of achievement they have. I think those are the very important questions. Anybody who is after high school looking for their career, they have to get into those questions and really get their answers, because you don't want to be in a position after 5 years where you're confused. You don't know, is this something you want to do, or is this a lifestyle do you want to lead? Because every profession comes with a lifestyle. This is a very crucial question, because you may like doing certain career, but you may not like the lifestyle that comes along with it, and that could be 15-16 hours a day, maybe for the rest of your life. Are you willing to put in that kind of work? Ask this question from yourself, because in some cases you're doing that work maybe just in the school or maybe just in the beginning, but there are some professions where you put in these number of hours every single day. Doesn't matter you are in the beginning of the career or at the end. Well, I'll get into that, but yes, and then I was in the industry for approximately 4 years, and I have worked with top-notch architects in my country, who have been, you know, really famous architects in India. And some of them, actually, both of them have studied in United States of America. One was from Harvard University, other one was from Pratt University, which is again one of a top design school in New York. So I got training under these kind of professionals, and I really learned architecture from those people. They were kind of my mentors in the industry who taught me after my college how to really move my pencil with that intention to build something and to solve the problems of my clients, right? So that's what I have done. Becket, I think if you have any questions from here, I'm good to go, good to answer.
Of course. So I guess just to start out, can you just tell us where your foundation in architecture really got started, and maybe what architecture really is?
Well, architecture, okay, let me go back and tell you what architecture was, because right now what architecture is very different than what it was. Architecture for us, it was a combination, what I knew, combination of science and creativity. There was not much technology involved at that time when I joined the industry. When I joined my school, rather, I thought I have an inclination towards creativity, and I'm a science student. I think this is a perfect amalgamation, and I would love to pursue this career. And another thing of the fact that my father is into real estate, so he was exposed to this industry where he felt there is a missing expertise between a client and a contractor, and that comes from a person who can actually design those buildings. And that's where he found that maybe his daughter can do it. So that's how he kind of influenced my decision, and that's how I applied for this course. And so pretty much architecture is something where you mix creativity with the science, because it's very important to understand the structures and so many other things that goes behind building those incredible buildings out there. But now when I see 7, 8 years down the road, technology has a huge role to play in this profession. And that has changed the whole industry, because there are so many careers they have come across today when you see architecture, which has come through technology. I'm not sure if you know this industry called UX UI. Well, it's an upcoming industry where a lot of opportunities are there. It's amalgamation of design. You need not need to be an architect, but it's amalgamation of technology and design. And a lot of architects today feel so helpless because they weren't taught so much into technology. That wasn't there because we were taught with the traditional way. Building a building is by your pencil and paper and pen. That's how we were actually taught in school. But right now, how many people are doing that? Not many. And technologies, the softwares, so many things have come up, have made the whole tedious process so easy, because they want the whole process of building the building much faster. Because how much money, because first is the employment money that goes into building that buildings. There's so many factors that are involved that they want to squeeze in and make the process faster. And that's why technology plays a huge role, both in terms of time and creativity. So that's what architecture to me is, which has evolved over the years.
That's really great. And then touching on your education, can you tell us like what role that played in your success, and maybe how important is it to go to a name school or to get good grades?
I think it's very important. Uh, it is so important to a point where that actually builds up you in a certain way when you're out there in the job industry, or if you're even planning to open up your own firm. See, there is a reason that those colleges are, name brands, because they have put together all the brilliant professors, all the brilliant people together to run that program, right? There's a reason they have done it that way. So I would say it's very important, but I would also say, for any reason you're not able to crack that, that is not end of the world, because every person is different and their journey is different. So yes, it's very important to get into the right school with the right branding and with the right professors, and you need to make sure they are practicing people, because this industry is, you cannot teach something which you haven't done before, right? So
Right.
you want to get that learning from the professors who are out there and doing the practice outside. They understand the laws, they understand what it takes to build the whole practice, right? So that's very important first. So, and second, for any reason you're not able to crack the best school, I don't think it's end of the world. You can still, network around, build that, credibility around that yourself. If you are aware what you're doing, you can still do it and learn it at the job. But if you're very much clear right in the beginning that this is what you want to do, then I would just recommend that please put your 100% and try to get the admission in the best schools.
That's great. And then maybe can you speak a little bit about your time at AA Architects and maybe your responsibilities and maybe some of the skills you implemented there?
Sure. Well, Becket, AA Architects was actually my first job right after my graduation, if you see. So it's a very different scenario when you actually, do your thesis. You finish your 5 years undergrad program with that energy that you're done, and you're going there out there, and you are basically an architect because you get the license and everything, but you out there, you understand, just because you have the license, that doesn't mean that you can build the buildings. So that was kind of awakening, not only for me, I think for a lot of my friends. They when they got into the industry, they understood that what you did in the school is one thing, but what you do outside in the practical world is so different. I still remember, I took this another leap that I joined the job in different city, not because I was not getting the job in my city, just I wanted to explore more. I wanted to work with different people, so I did get the job in different city with different people who speak very different language. So that's another thing, because this industry involves a lot of local people, and so I had to learn the language also at that time. But what I learned in that job, first of all, how to put together your knowledge in the practical world. Learn to work under the principal architect, and how to communicate the needs of the client onto your paper, onto your design. How you can do that, and design is a process. And I was also, because maybe my boss thought that I'm good enough, he right away not only gave me the project to design, but also gave me the permission to interact with my client. So I was exposed to that environment where I'm trying to understand what this client is looking for, because I was working with a lot of developers who were making a lot of group housings. So I was trying to understand what is that person is looking for, what kind of building they're trying to make, and also the money point. Because as an architect, you're never taught about finance, zero knowledge about finance. And when you get into in the industry, everybody's taught in numbers. And that was so new to me, because all in 5 years, I was trained in my mind, design, 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 design. And now when I'm out there, design is only a small part. It's actually numbers plays a lot of big role, not only in terms of the area that you're working on, but also the money that is involved in the process of building that building. So I think I got a lot of exposure, interacting with the labor, interacting with the clients, interacting with my principal, and also leading my team who was helping me with the project, because I had to lead three people who were helping me to build that whole thing, because the, not only the design, but it's like 3D, you have to make 3D views of the building, so many presentations that are involved. So basically teamwork, I learned that also. But it was a great experience as a first job that I got to do. Actually, I was one of those lucky person who was able to touch every part of the process of building one building.
Awesome. And then moving on to another role of yours, can you maybe speak a little bit about your time at livespace.com?
Sure. That was a very different ball game, guys, because that was the first organization in India that was opened up to such humongous level, where architects, without even opening up their own firms, or for that matter interior designer, because I was more like interior designer in that organization, without opening up your own firm, you were actually dealing with those situations, because my role as a design partner in that organization was to get so the company used to give me the leads of the clients. Okay, so my role was to crack those deals with those clients. As I was the face of the company, I was not an employee with Livespace. I was a partner, so I had a commission based business, work with that company. So whatever business I'm going to give to the company, I had a percentage. I mean, I used to earn that percentage from that organization. So that is a very different scenario, and that has never happened in the history of architecture or designing in India before. So I was one of those first designers who joined that kind of organization, because I always had that entrepreneurship kind of spirit in me. So when this opportunity came up, I joined it. I didn't have a lot of network people in this network who have done that before, but I took that leap. And you know what happened in that process? While I was working with Livespace, I was able to understand that what it takes for an architect to get the project in the office. Because how will you get to know if you don't have an office of your own as yet? And I was not in that position. I was still an employee to. So either I opened up my own firm, which I wasn't ready at that time, because I was planning to move to United States. And then when this opportunity arrived, it was pretty much the same thing I was doing. I was getting the project for myself, communicating with the client in the same way as I am the owner of that project, because I'm the face. You have to understand, I'm the face. Although I come with the brand name of the company, but I was the face, okay? And understanding what it takes to, get involved as a front end architect, because when you're in the office doing the work, it's different, because your boss is taking care of so many things that you don't realize it, and you are out there in your computer and saying, my boss don't understand this, my boss is giving me hard time, or asking me to stay late in the office, and he wants me to work harder. But when I was out there, I could really understand the struggles, and what it takes to keep the client happy till the end of the process. Make sure that he gets what he wants, because it's so difficult. Design is one process and doing the work is so different. And the major part is to keep the client happy, because at the end of the day, your business is about word of mouth. If you are doing your work right, he will, say good things about you, and that's how you get more projects, right? That's how this industry works. So I kind of really got thick skin, and learned a lot, and learned to communicate with my client on a constant basis, learn to address their problems, and and along with that, I was the designer, I was the coordinator, I was leading my team. So basically doing everything what an architect would be doing without my own office. So that was a great experience. And within 6 months, I was the best performer of the organization. That was a big mark on my career, because that taught me that I can lead, I can be an entrepreneur, I can actually do these leadership skills or lead an organization. Those, I got that confidence that not only I'm not just a person who will just design on the back end. I can actually lead out there and do my work successfully. Yeah.
Great. That's extremely insightful. And then maybe can you touch a little bit on your current role at I Achieve Group Incorporation, and maybe the transition you had from some of your past roles to your current role?
Sure. So basically, guys, I am not doing architecture right now. So right now, as I told you, I had this entrepreneurship spirits in me always, that I wanted to own my business. When I landed here in States, I got this huge opportunity to build an e-commerce business. And I've been someone who has been always open about doing things. But of course, I had doubts, because without having any background on this particular field, I didn't know how to, go about it. But at that time, Amazon was out there, and it was in the news, and we could all see how Amazon is growing tremendously. So I could see that, one of the industry which is growing is online industry. So I didn't know how to get into that, but I was open. I was like, let's see how it goes. And when I got presented with this opportunity, the founder of the organization kind of, interviewed me. He saw where I come from, what kind of skills I have, what kind of work I have done, and do I have what it takes to build my own business. And honestly, of course, I did qualify for that, but that doesn't give you any guarantee. Even if you qualify any interview, does it give any guarantee that you'll do good in the job? No. And I was also still evaluating my points, that should I do that, or should I not do that, um, because I didn't want to continue my architecture in the same way. I wanted to do something else in architecture, which I'll talk about after this. So he agreed to mentor me, guys. So one of the very important things, that he agreed to mentor me, and that's how I learned. I learned a new industry right from nothing, and it took me, I think, approximately 2 years to get the skills right. Not that I know everything right now. I mean, I'm still learning, but then those crucial beginning 2 years were so important, because that time I was literally learning ABCD of my new industry that I'm working right now. Okay. So nothing, I just put my focus right there, put the blinders on. I got myself humbled enough where I could learn everything right from the beginning, absolutely new things in the new country. And today I have my e-commerce business all across North America, and I have a huge team which I'm leading. And even and now I feel so grateful that I took just path, because even the pandemic couldn't touch it, because it's absolutely online, and my business is growing. It has got no effect of pandemic. And I also learned in the process that a lot of times we have heard that, get a good education, get a good job, you're set for life. Nobody ever taught us that it's important to diversify yourself. I don't think so. I mean, my parents never taught me. None of my teachers taught me. So I think something just happened in my life where I got to learn that it's so important to diversify yourself and be open. There's so many good things are happening out there. The world is evolving. So you don't know what opportunity comes your way and can change your whole life. Yeah.
Great. Well, congratulations on your success. And then moving on to, you touched on this a little bit, but maybe can you tell us, what are your top 3 skills that you use every day?
Sure. I would say first very important thing is networking. Communication, networking is so important. It's very important to build because build your network in whatever industry you're working on, because that expands your horizon, that expands your knowledge. You get to see things from so different angle that you are not even aware of. And do remind me, I would really want to mention about how I'm going to take my architecture career ahead, right? So second is communication with my team. I make a point every morning. I communicate with my team and build my team up, because you don't know what they're going through, because everybody is working virtually. My business in any way is virtual. So I didn't have to learn the skills in the pandemic. Sorry guys, I had to learn it much before the pandemic. So I knew it's so important to stay connected with your team, to understand on a personal level, because I feel personally you can't do well if other parts of your life is not stable. So I try to be that person to communicate with them and build that connection with them, so that my team is comfortable enough to share with me their struggles of something going on in their life. Because if we are able to address that, I see so much productivity in their work. That's commendable, and that's something I had to build it up. This is a skill that you build it up, and that's where being a good listener, being a good communication person, those skills really come handy. And if somebody feels that it's not something they're good at, I can tell you guys, I felt the same. I developed that skill. And the third very important thing is time management. It's so crucial when you're working all by yourself, to keep your time in check. Those are the top three skills.
Phenomenal. And then maybe one of our last questions is, what are your suggestions or maybe words of wisdom, tips for aspiring architects, or maybe for up and coming leaders?
My tip would be, ask yourself, whatever career you're choosing for yourself, can you do that 12, 15 hours a day for the rest of your life? Ask first question. Second, instead of asking that, is this something you want to do? Ask yourself, is this the life you want to lead? Meet architects, meet doctors, meet lawyers, whatever field you choose. Meet those successful people in that particular industry, and understand what kind of life they have. Do you want to lead the same life as a male or female who you are? Understand what it takes to build that kind of career. Are you willing to go through the same route? If yes, the answer is yes, I think that's good for you. And it doesn't matter then, those struggles or that journey will be much easier for you, and in fact you would enjoy that journey because you would know why you're doing this. And if ever in the journey you're stuck with the wall, that you ask these questions, just go back to your why you started, why you chose this. And if you keep your motivation connected with your why, I think you will never ever have to be upset about anything in your life, because see, life will give you everything. Ups and downs will happen no matter what. Whatever industry you choose, there will be something you will love, and there will be something you may not like that much. But if you know why you're doing that, you'll be able to understand and move it forward from there. So that's something I learned in my career, that it's so crucial to understand and be with that network to understand what it takes to build that kind of career.
Awesome. And then our final question here at VSC is really, what courses or maybe clubs or electives should students partake in? And I guess, what is the typical path for a successful architect to take?
This is the question I was waiting for, because I did a very big blunder in my life. What I would call it blunder, but a mistake, that I started with this career, and maybe the network I was in, that was all people were doing. So that's all I knew, the traditional architecture career. And what happened that I hit the wall. I couldn't understand it. I wasn't happy with the progress after a point. And although I did love my journey in Livespace, which was my last job, but at that time I didn't know where to go after this, because what I was taught, that's something I was not motivated enough to pursue anyway. So the mistake was I didn't network enough in a manner where I could meet architects from all different fields. Because today, guys, architects are involved in so many fields. So I took my 2 years or 3 years time while I was building my e-commerce business to network with those people. And today, this year, what happened that after that kind of network and conversations and building my connections and understanding how so many careers that involves an architect or a design background, and you know and I was able to decide on my master's program, and I've got admission in Pratt Institute and the Parson School. If you guys know, these are the two top schools in United States, or in fact in the world, top 10 schools in the world in the design industry. I got the admission here for design management. Why? Because I understood I love being a designer, but also I love the business part of it. So I got an opportunity after all this networking and all those conversations to understand who really I am. And I could see myself as a designer and a business person. So why not to, combine that and use that skill and build a career along with that. And that's how I was exposed for this program called design management. And that's what I am gonna do next year. I was actually given the opportunity I got the admission for this year, but COVID happened, and I was not much interested to do the course online, because it's hardly 15 months program, and you know how the COVID situation is. So I took 1 year of deferral, but next year I'm gonna continue my architecture career as a design manager. So I'm really excited for that. But the lesson what I'm trying to tell here is that network, learn about your field, be so good with what you're doing and so good with your skills. That is so important. So that's something I think I missed out for 1 or 2 years, and that's how it took a longer time to decide. But other than that, I'm very happy today. Thank you.
Very cool. And with that, you have finished answering our questions at VS, and we thank you for that. And now we're going to move on to Q&A questions. So if any of you have questions that you would like Ms. Sobti to answer, then feel free to put them in the Q&A module down below. But we will start off with the first Q&A question, which is, do you have any recommendations for how to gain exposure to architecture while still in high school?
Yes. It's very easy, guys. Today with the technology, it's so easy to connect with people, because LinkedIn is a great platform to, first of all, Google out all the top schools of architecture in the country, and just see the alumni from those schools, and talk to these people on LinkedIn. And honestly, most of these people are willing to help you, and they will explain you everything, and they will answer your questions. And everybody out there is, understand the importance of networking. So you may think, how, if that person will, invest their time or not. But please understand, everybody, most of the people do understand the importance of networking. So please ask questions from anyone you see on LinkedIn, connect with them, talk to them, schedule a call with them, and I'm sure you will get all your answers.
Great. And then another networking centered question. How do you recommend to gain connections in the architect industry?
My question is that while you are in school, that itself gives you a lot of exposure, because right now, even I have not joined the school for my master's program. The the university has already connected me with so many alumni. I do a lot of webinars. I have the opportunity to connect with them one-on-one. So I think today universities are helping you so much to connect with the alumni, and LinkedIn. I think these are the two ways you can connect. One is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a professional platform, guys, so that's why it's one and the only one. Second, in the university, speak with your seniors, speak with your professors, because in the most of the universities, professors are not only teaching you, but also they're practicing outside. So that is also very, very important to connect with them, because that will help you in the job. They will get you placed at the right place if you have that connection with them. So I think right now, with how technology is working, it's so easy to connect. You just have to reach out to the people. Right from the Google the best schools that you're targeting. Look for the people in those particular universities and send them a message, and boom, you're there.
Alrighty. Thank you for answering our questions here at VSC, as well as our audience members' questions. We really appreciate the experience and insight that you were able to share with us here today. And I'm sure that the people who will view this later will also greatly appreciate what you have shared with us today. If you'd like to learn more, please visit our website at virtualstudentexperiences.com. And until then, I'll see you guys later.